Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Model Kit Review. In this fun in-box review video, we'll be looking at HobbyCraft's P-26 in 1/48 scale. This review covers HobbyCraft kit numbers HC1558, HC1559, and HC1563. The Boeing P-26 Peashooter was the first all-metal monoplane fighter to be produced in America. It first flew in 1932, and it was still in use with the Army Air Corps in the Philippines as late as 1941. A few of the Peashooters even saw combat in the early stages of World War II with the invasion of the Philippines by the Japanese. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the kit instructions, and we'll go through those. We'll also look at the detailing on the smaller parts of the kit, including the interior parts and the parts that make up the engine. We'll take a look at the engraved detailing on the exterior of the kit. We'll look at the clear parts that are included with the kit, as well as the marking options that are included in the kit. We'll also look at the decals themselves, and I'll be giving my conclusions at the end. And we'll be trying to answer the question, is HobbyCraft's P-26 line of fighters the best aircraft model kit that HobbyCraft produced? Looking at the kit instructions, step 1 has you assembling the cockpit floor and the seat and seat back. The detailing on these parts looks really nice, and if you take your time here, it should come out very well. Step 2 has you continuing on with cockpit construction, including the instrument panel and installing the cockpit floor and back into the fuselage halves and then joining those. You also have the option of posing part C12, either open or closed. Looking at the instrument panel, the dials have raised detail. Even the bodies of the guns that are in the cockpit are well detailed. The lower portion of the instrument panel also looks great. And looking at the fuselage halves, the detailing on the exterior of the fuselage halves looks really nice. It is engraved detail, it is petite, and the panel lines seem very consistent. Step 3 is a multi-part step. The first part covers installing the wings and the tail planes and the rudder. It also covers building the engine and installing that on the aircraft and installing the kit canopy. Looking at the wings themselves, the surface detailing on there is very nice. I like the pre-drilled holes for the rigging that will come later. There is no rivet detail on the surface of the kit, but what is there does look very nice. There's a very shiny surface texture to the exterior parts, and this will aid in painting the aircraft. Looking at the clear parts, the canopy itself looks very nice. I don't anticipate any problems with that. The second part of step 3 covers the assembly of the engine. This is another part where you need to take your time. There are a lot of small parts, especially the exhaust stubs. Looking at the detailing on these parts, it is very nice. This engine should really detail out beautifully. There's only a minimal amount of flash on some of the engine parts that needs to be cleaned up. There's a lot going on in step 4, and honestly, I think this could have been broken out into multiple steps here, but we'll try to go through this slowly. In this step, we are building and attaching the wheel spats. We're also building and attaching the bomb rack. We're attaching the tail wheel, and then we're adding the rigging to the aircraft once it's complete. Looking at the step more closely, we can see the bomb rack location diagram, and that needs to be put on prior to the bombs being installed. This step also covers assembling the bomb and installing the tail wheel on the aircraft. Looking at these parts, the detail is actually very nice, and these should paint up nicely and detail out nicely. This step also has you building the spats and installing them on the wing. If we look at the parts here, these look nice, and a nice feature here is that the spats have the locators for the rigging mounts. You can see here there are more detail bits to be added to the fuselage, and there's a diagram on the right that shows how to mount the oil cooler. The final part of step 4 covers the rigging diagram, both top and bottom. If you follow this, you should get a good result. Moving on to the painting and marking guide, there are 2 marking options included in this kit. The first one is for a Philippine Army Air Corps 6th Squadron P-26. The second marking option is for a Guatemalan P-26. Both of these marking options are colorful. Looking at the kit decals, they look to be opaque, They are in register, and I don't anticipate any major problems with these. I've used the HobbyCraft decals before, and they turned out okay. If you're concerned about the accuracy or the quality of the kit decals, they do make aftermarket decals for the P-26. In summary, is HobbyCraft's P-26 line of fighters the best aircraft model kit that HobbyCraft ever produced? Well, the P-26 line of kits from HobbyCraft is really regarded very highly. The surface detailing on the exterior of the kit is very nice. There's minimal flash on the parts, and the molding looks really good. I didn't notice any sink marks in the plastic. The detail parts on this look really excellent, and they will respond well to some fine detail painting. There's only a cockpit windscreen, so the clear parts themselves look fine. And there are lots of colorful marking options for the P-26. Though I haven't used any yet, the decals themselves look to be of decent quality, and I don't anticipate any problems with those. Due to the high number of small parts that are included with this kit and the more complex construction sequence, in addition to the rigging that's on the aircraft and the somewhat complex instructions and the somewhat complicated paint schemes, I would recommend the HobbyCraft P-26 to more experienced modelers. Well, I'd love to know what you guys think. If any of you have built one of HobbyCraft's P-26 Peashooters previously, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative, and until next time, model on.